Welcome to another edition of Budget Wargamer, where we're reviewing the Beyond the Gates of Antares Algoryn AI Squad. And this is one of the newer reboxings that has the sticker on here for plus 2 extra models. So the old squads were $32, had 5 of the models in there, and they still haven't updated the box artwork or even the box contents here. But they do come with 7 models on the inside, so you get 2 extra poses of the regular troopers. But inside the box, we're going to have one Algoryn AI Squad Leader with pistol and X-sling, Algoryn orders dice. We'd actually have 5 Algoryn AI Troopers with mag guns, and then one Algoryn AI Trooper with micro X launcher. So let's pop that bad boy open. First time actually opening the box here. Oh geez, bonus bits. So this is apparently how they just sandwich baggied like a crack dealer and got the new 2 models in there. So they're just 2 different poses. I'll get in here and take a crack at them. But these guys do have the heads separate from the bodies. But each of these Algoryn AI Troopers is equipped with a mag gun. So they're not as high tech as all the Concord that run around with the plasma carbines. The mag guns are not quite as good. They don't have as good of a strike value. They are a bit different, but so some people say these are like the low-tech Concord, but they're actually really cool looking and as futuristic as they appear. You would swear that, you know, somehow these guys were a little bit better than the Concord, but unfortunately, apparently they're not. Still a heck of a lot of fun looking, and I think they're one of the armies that's unique enough to Gates of Antares that really draws a lot of the new players in. And after watching some of the development of the game for a few years or 2 years, whatever it seemed like online, they are certainly one of the more graphic armies that drew me towards the game and made me think like, hey, these guys are different than just your typical miniatures war game. You know, the inspiration behind them was a little bit unique. So here's the typical orders dice that you get with a lot of the squad boxes. The Algoryn have like a blue and red type of dice. So that way when you draw yours out of the bag, you know that it's your turn for one of your units. But here's the typical head sprue. We've got 2 of them without helmets. So you could use those, I suppose, to represent your leader. Maybe the person here that has a little bit of a scream going on. Not trying to focus that in. It's not paying off. There we go. And 3 of them here with the helmets. So that would be in addition to the other 2 you got in the little Ziploc baggie with the other guys. But let's go ahead and bring them up here. We've got the leader with the X-sling here on his hand and a mag pistol. So that's one of the optional ways to equip him. And then we've got the micro X launcher. So it's kind of like a grenade launcher. You can fire overhead too, and you know, if you use it with your spotter drones, you can potentially hit some people that are out of line of sight while you're moving across cover. So we'll put these little pewter bowling pins up a little bit better there. And we'll take a look at some of these standard poses. So one standard trooper and sort of a advancing pose. Another one in an advancing pose. I just had to pop some of the heads on there, clip out some of this little bits and pieces and glue them on their base. So assembly is going to be quite easy for these guys. This guy looks more like he's in a run pose. You can picture him charging down. But one of the things to note about a lot of the Gates of Antares pewters is that, you know, I'd say a couple things to note. First and foremost, you're going to feel when you take them right out of the box that there is a lot of mold release on here. You know, you can feel it on your hands. You're going to definitely want to soap and warm water that right off the model before you put primer on. And a friend of mine painted up some of his Algoryn and sure enough didn't clean them up, and the paint just started chipping right off of them. So that's one thing to note. Another thing about Antares miniatures, I don't know if my little phone camera shows these guys any justice, but for being pewter cast, these guys hold about as much detail as most of the resin casts that you'll see out there. So Antares is a real low production quantity game. These molds are still new. They're not being overused, and they're being spun by professionals. So tons and tons of detail being laid in here with each of their models. You're definitely not getting skimped on in any sort of way. And there's not a lot of mold lining on these guys. at least from most of the boxes that I've opened up. So really high quality models there. They do impress, and they do kind of inspire you to want to paint them and show off the details that come on the models. But we'll get a shot here of these 7 guys without their heads or bases, but it's a pretty sizable squad of 7 Algoryn. There's no drone with these guys, but you know, for $9, $10, you could pick up a pack of 6 of them, and we will be reviewing those shortly here in another video. So stay tuned.